What's up? What's up? We are looking at college football and we were looking at week 8 top 25, trying to figure out this puzzle. And we're getting into the thick of it right now. So let's see what we got. We got a whole bunch of changes, and we're looking at Oregon at number 1. This is a remarkable change of what Oregon's used to doing. I love betting on Oregon. I bet them every year, and you know what? The one year that I don't bet them to win the championship is the year that they do excel. You would think going into the Big Ten or something like that that they would kind of need some adjustment period, but college football, gods as they know it, decided they are number 1. And they're deserving too, because they haven't had much of a challenge. They were really much on cruise control at the very beginning of this football season. The very beginning, they just showed that they were just gonna, kind of like what Michigan usually does, but Michigan is a shell of itself, not the champion that they were last year. I don't know who you guys were expecting to come out of this, but for me, Alabama seemed like they were going to be coming back into this championship season. But after their loss this last week, I don't even know where they sit, to be honest. Number 15. I mean, it's a loss to Tennessee, but after you lose to Vanderbilt, they really wasted their one loss. Hopefully, with the college football playoff 12 tournament series, they can get back into it, because it's always fun to have an Alabama team there. They're dominant. They've been dominant for the past, like, I don't know, 10 years, but no Nick Saban. So you got Oregon. They played Purdue and they destroyed them 35-0. I don't know if you guys expected that, but I did not. I expected better things from Purdue, and they destroyed that spread. It's still a little bit underwhelming. These teams like Ohio State, when they're on top, they really like go 55-6 or something. They put on everything, but maybe Oregon is just holding off, waiting for that big game that means a little more something. You are number 1 already. You don't need to put out your starters for more than the first half. So if you're going to bet them, I would just suggest betting the first half against Illinois is the next game, and that's a good game too. Illinois looks really good. They're in the top 25, so another top 25 showdown for the Ducks. Then we got Georgia. They got their huge win over Texas. Biggest game of the year. I mean, Georgia had they already had one game against Bama and they lost it, but to lose that, not really going to hurt you. But then Texas being number 1 and being so dominant this year, it's really, really interesting to see them get destroyed at Texas, obviously. So they move up 3 to number 2. I'm surprised they're not number 1. Well, I guess that Oregon's win over Georgia, obviously, so that puts them over Georgia. But you got Penn State sitting at number 3, and we've been talking about that all year. Penn State. Now they had the lesser of the top 25 teams. They had USC, and USC is taking a dive right now. They are not able to put it together. They are not able to fit in, kind of what I was saying about Oregon earlier. They're not fitting in this new division that they're in. They're wishing they were back in the Pac-12. Even in the Pac-12, they weren't dominant, so you can't really expect them to knock your socks off the first year. I don't know when's the last time they've been impressive. Maybe since Reggie Bush, something like that, but Penn State, and they're kind of they're going to play Wisconsin next, but they're kind of intertwined in some kind of sex scandal right now with their players, and the coach was at the press conference was getting, I'm not going to say harassed, but he was getting questions about this that he wasn't appreciating. Uh, it's a rightfully asking him questions, but the Penn State coordinators and the HR department just shut the reporters down and said, "Let's focus on Wisconsin." I don't know if you guys caught that. Shout out in the comments if you caught that, but yeah, it was pretty funny to see that. Go ahead and check that out on YouTube if you can, or Rumble. See if you can catch the Penn State quarterback denying questions about his players caught up in some sexual assault or something like that. Some essay. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on YouTube or Rumble. I'm like the only guy that's ever got strikes on Rumble, things that you can't say. But anyways, then you got Ohio State coming off a bye week, huge loss where Oregon and Dan Lanning. Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, I said Oregon beat Georgia. No, Oregon beat Ohio State. Yeah, in that last second game. So who did Georgia lose against? They only lost against Bama. And then they beat Texas. I guess Oregon's undefeated, so you got to give it to them the number one spot. But I would say Georgia's the more impressive team right now. I would give them the number one spot. But I know you can't do that. You can't skip someone undefeated. So then why is Penn State sitting at number 3? So whatever. Who do you think should be number 1? Let us know what you guys think. But Ohio State sitting at number 4 at 5-1 with a 1-point loss against Oregon. I guess there's no perfect spot. Everybody's got to take theirs. And then Texas dropping 4 spots. Is that really justified? Because I know you could argue that Texas has played a much tougher schedule than Penn State. That's kind of a weak schedule that they've got so far. Everyone that was supposed to be big is kind of weak right now. I don't really recall everyone that they played, but let's check it out real quick. It says that they played they are sitting at number 3 and they have played, and it's not going to give it to me very easily, so let's move on. I'm super curious though. Schedule, there we go, right in front of me, of course. So they played West Virginia, garbage. Bowling Green, garbage. Kent State, garbage. Illinois, sitting at 20. I don't know if they're legit. UCLA, garbage. USC, playing their worst football. Still a challenge. I mean, USC is probably their biggest challenge so far, as opposed to what Texas has done. I mean, remind me if I'm crazy, but I think Texas in the SEC, Colorado State, they played Michigan, the defending champions. Obviously, this is not the Michigan team. They destroyed, they beat Mississippi State, but they destroyed Oklahoma. I guess you could argue that they're not a top 25 team, but Illinois, not much. And then Georgia, losing to Georgia. But every game they played, dominant. And I'm not a Texas fan. I sound like a Texas fan, but I'm not a Texas fan. Oh, look at this. So then next they're going to play Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt can remain in this top 25, that would be interesting. I don't think anybody respects Vanderbilt. I don't care if they beat Bama. But you beat Texas and Bama in the same year. I mean, you could just retire right there. You could just stop the season and say, this is Vanderbilt and we're out. You know what I mean? You don't got to do anything else if you beat Texas and Alabama in the same year. I don't care what the team is either. If they're sitting at 0-5 and they're a Bama team, you beat Bama. That's it. Drop your hat, drop the mic. And they got that quarterback from New Mexico State, and he seems to be really good. I don't know if he's a senior or something, but he's probably going to get picked up by a better organization next year if he's not a super senior already. Anyways, you got Miami sitting at 7-0, and they had a challenge in Louisville. They have a challenge every week because they are just Miami, and they can just not make it easy. That defense doesn't look like Miami defense. They're playing a different way. You got Cam Ward sitting at the Heisman Trophy desk, and he's just he's airing it out. He's doing his job, but the defense, they had that close game at Cal. They did defeat Miami right here. And next they play FSU, an FSU team that really sucks. So I don't even know if FSU won last week, but they have a really rough schedule, and I don't think anybody's watching them. They did lose a ton of talent, so I don't know if you can blame them. They'll probably pick up someone like Deion Sanders next year to coach them. And then you got Tennessee. Ooh, how the mighty have fallen. That's not really. I mean, they just had a bye. No. They got the big win against Alabama. Yeah. What's going on with them? Let's check this out really quick. Getting everyone mixed up. You got NFL, you got baseball, everything going on. So they were on a streak. Probably like top 5 streak. You got 69-3, 51-10, 71-0, 25-15 against that Oklahoma team. A bye week. So the loss to Arkansas, that's what I'm forgetting. So the loss to Arkansas dropped them down, but Arkansas is no joke. Everybody want to sleep on these teams like Arkansas and there's another team I was forgetting that's really good. South Carolina. South Carolina is really good, and they want to sleep on them. And this is not a loss that really hurts you. But then you got Florida. Florida's picking it up. They're garbage this year. This is rebuild, but they're picking it up. And then the big win over Bama. So, yeah, I don't think it's justified for them to be so low. I mean, I know Miami's undefeated, but, just so ugly. Just so ugly. Meanwhile, Tennessee's playing everyone and their grandma. And then you got sneaky LSU. So let's see. So they played that Florida team and destroyed them. That's Florida before the rebuild began. Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, Virginia Tech, Cal, 38-39. They were down by 30 points with like 14 seconds left. So Louisville's good. Louisville's a decent team. It's a nice win. Did they ever sniff the top 25? Not really. But can they beat you? Yes, of course they can beat you. So what do you got here? We stopped at LSU. So they got their win against Arkansas, and this is a good win. Look at that. 34-10. That's no joke. Against an Arkansas team that is, in my opinion, really good and good to bet on. You want to bet on this Arkansas. You want to bet on this South Carolina team and Washington State. I don't even Washington State's in the top 25 yet, but they're legit. And we're going to get into some of these other teams like the BYUs and the Clemsons that kind of came out of nowhere. Because Clemson, I think they benched their quarterback, and then they just came out of nowhere. I stopped watching Clemson football. I thought they were done. I think they had was it a week 1 loss? Let's see. Well, to be fair, they were playing Georgia, but you would think that would be a little bit closer. But this is when they were going through their quarterback controversy, and then they kind of just figured it out. Figured it out real quick. Appalachian State 66-20. They're just dominating teams now. It's not even funny. I guess their closest game is this Virginia game. But Virginia's garbage. Sitting at 2-2, they were supposed to be a lot better. 2-2 in the conference, 4-3. 4-3 in the overall. Yeah. So Stanford, they destroyed Stanford. Next game is at Louisville, so this will be a good challenge. Nobody in the ACC is really going to give you much of a challenge. It's pretty much Miami and Clemson. I think there's one more team that I'm forgetting, but I think those are really going to be the two teams in the championship. This is terrible. I got Crocodile Dundee going on in the background. I don't know how that gets on this. I put this channel on every time I do my stream, and it gets the weirdest movies, strangest movies. But anyways, you got LSU, Clemson, Iowa State. So Iowa State sitting at number 10, top 10. They've been there for quite a while. Big win over UCF. And UCF is going to go play BYU this week. So that's kind of interesting. Being in the same division, I guess it's the Big 12. Iowa State, their big win against Iowa. But top 10. BYU, I don't know if they've ever been this high. Sitting at number 11. Yeah, very interesting. Let's see. So I'm not sure about this BYU team. I haven't had enough information on them. Obviously, they came out of nowhere. They ended up in the top 25, and then I'm just kind of supposed to believe it. But my boy Ken, shout out to Ken over in Hawaii. He is he's going on BYU at UCF, and he likes it. BYU is getting 2. So that's kind of crazy. You're just talking about the number 11 team going on the road, and they're getting 2 points. So if they're legit, this should be easy money. You put your money down, you go over to the bathroom, and you go to, I don't know, 7-Eleven. You go do some errands for your wife, whatever. You know what I mean? It's money in the bank. You run to the bookie. And I think I'm going to play that BYU, especially if Ken's saying that he's like destroying that at +2. I don't even know if it's +2 anymore, but let us know, Ken. Anyways, so you got Notre Dame against Navy, and this is a top 25 showdown. Notre Dame against Navy. Navy is sneaking up in the top 25. I believe it's Army and Navy both doing what they do with their running games and just putting up ridiculous numbers. So let's see where they're at. This is kind of interesting with Notre Dame. This is the thing that's going to make or break them. They have their 2 top 25 teams are Navy and Army, and I don't think that's legit. Give me 1 second here. I think that's kind of manufactured. All right, let's see. We're about to lose. About to lose power here. Anyways, so it's kind of manufactured. Navy and Army. I find that a little ridiculous. I don't know if they're legit, but you got to put somebody in the top 25. But I don't know. I could put Washington State or something like that. I'm not thrilled about both of them being in the top 25. Maybe it's for the sake of Notre Dame because they're such a draw. That's the only thing I can think of. And this Indiana team. Woo! Little birdie told me that this Indiana UW game is going to be a blowout. I don't know what the spread is on that one. Well, Washington hasn't been that bad. I don't think they've been that bad that it's going to be a blowout. But Indiana's been such a surprise. It's kind of like I don't know what to expect from them. Now, they picked up in the offseason about 4 of James Madison's players. And if you know anything about James Madison, they just kind of air it out. And they're this university that just finds players out of nowhere and turns them into superstars. They're kind of decimated because of that. But I expected James Madison to be in the top 25 this year. But after Indiana took their players, now it looks like Indiana's the new James Madison. So they're sitting at 13. I'd put a little money on them at Washington. No, it's at home. So this is probably the highest ranking that Indiana's ever had. I just can't imagine any other time that they've been higher. Texas A&M, they're going to play LSU. Huge matchup, 14 versus 8. But I think Texas A&M has the upper hand on them. I wonder what the spread is on that game. Let's find it out real quick, because I'm leaning Texas A&M. I don't think LSU should be there. Let's see. It's going to take us 5 years to find this game. So it's -1 Texas A&M. So I would say that is a gimme. Maybe you tease it with BYU, give them some extra points. Anyways, that's meant to be. Obviously, you can't put too many SEC teams up there. And once they play each other, they're going to be knocked out. So you got Bama sitting at number 15, dropping 8 spots. You sound like the top 25 music, huh? On the radio. But anyways, Alabama sitting at number 15, and they lost to Tennessee. I don't think that's a big negative on them. They could still get into the playoff. But once again, that Vanderbilt loss is going to kill them. But they're going to play Missouri. I love Missouri. I like Missouri. And this game against Bama is -16.5. Give me the 16 all day. I trust Missouri. I think that they can at least stay within 16.5. They could beat this Bama team. They're wounded. They're just not Bama. I like Milroe too. I like their quarterback. I like their defense. But something's different without Saban. They need to tune it in. I mean, if you got an Alabama team that loses 2 games, everybody's freaking out. But they should have to go through some kind of growth. Losing their coach that's been there forever. Anyways, you got K-State. I haven't seen much of K-State, but they beat West Virginia pretty badly, obviously. 45-18. Good for them. They're going to play Kansas. Kansas has been a big dud on the year. I expected them to be better. This is interesting right here. I like this game too. I like Boise State. Everybody's jumping on the Boise State bandwagon with their Heisman Trophy candidate running back. And they destroyed Hawaii, but they're going to go play UNLV, and UNLV is a little bit overrated. So I think you can get very good odds. I can't remember exactly what the spread is, but I checked it out, and the spread was pretty decent. It was low. And you're at UNLV. It's not much of a travel. I'm not worried about it. Ole Miss, I don't know what to make of them, but they're playing Oklahoma. They're sitting at 18. 5-2. You got to win this game. You got to beat up on this Oklahoma team and get back in the mix. So I expect them to put a show on. They lost to LSU, but 5-2. You can get back in this. Let's go, Ole Miss. Very exciting team to watch. Now Pitt just played yesterday, and they played Syracuse. They had 5 picks. 5 picks. Look at that, 41-13. Holy smokes. 5 picks and 3 returned for a touchdown. So I expect when this is revised, they will move up about 5 to 7 spots. Someone's going to fall out, and they're going to take this momentum right into the top 10 maybe. Probably not. That's too many spots to jump. But Illinois, they defeated Michigan. Michigan is just a name right now. But they get a chance to get themselves probably into the top 10 for sure if they beat Oregon. If they even stay like close to Oregon, I could see them maybe keeping their spot, retaining the 20 spot, or dropping one. It's okay to lose to Oregon, especially if you're Illinois. Missouri, they're not going to get much out of this Bama win. They just need to win. And I can't believe they lost. I lost money on this game. They should not have lost to Auburn. Oh, what am I talking about? I won money on this game. Yeah. My bad. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, I picked Missouri when they were down live. I live betted them, and they were down by like 14 points. And then Auburn didn't score another point. So that was pretty sweet. There was no way Missouri was losing to Auburn. SMU, destruction of Stanford. That wasn't even a game worth watching. That got real boring real quick. Spread was huge anyway, but Stanford usually puts up a good fight. Army, they did what they're supposed to do against ECU. They play Air Force next. Air Force is terrible, so they'll probably move up one spot. Navy destroyed Charlotte, and they're going to play Notre Dame. So this is a good chance for Navy to prove that they deserve to be there. And Navy and Notre Dame is beatable. Vandy, that's not happening. Vandy, God rest their soul. They're going to be, I don't know what the spread is on this, but it's not happening. They're not beating Texas. They beat Ball State, who was, oh no, that was NIU, who was once in the top 25. Let's check out these games real quick. Just see these upcoming games, see if there's anything that jumps out to us. Top 25. So we'll check out the whole football on another video, but right now, probably not going to have much time. But so we got Boise State -3.5. I say take a money line. Put them on a parlay. Take them money line. They're winning. I don't respect this UNLV team. You can put that on tape. Obviously, hold me to that because I'm more than happy to say take the Boise State. And you could take them at -3.5, and I think that's going to be fine. But I say just take a money line, guarantee the money. Bing bang. Washington at Indiana. I think that's going to be a good game. I'd like 7 points. Nebraska at Ohio State, 25 points. I've lost all faith in the Cornhuskers. And Ohio State coming off that loss. I might take them first half. Ohio State first half. It's probably like, 15, 16 points. And Nebraska's just getting destroyed. Ohio's going to be pissed off. They got supreme talent there. Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Give me an Ole Miss. Not with this spread. I'll pretty much stay away from it. I have no idea. Exciting Ole Miss team, but sometimes they just got their heads in the clouds. Notre Dame at Navy -13. Give me Navy. Give me the points. I'll take Navy. They got that rush game, right? It could slow down the clock. Not slow down the clock. Keep that clock running. That's all you want to do if you're there. You're at home. The crowd's going to be crazy. Give me Navy. I might actually bet on this game. Because if you've watched Notre Dame football this year, you're not impressed. Illinois at Oregon, 21.5. I'll stay away. Oregon sometimes just doesn't finish these games for me. Now, if it's a big game, I'll take them. I like them in the big games. So you got Missouri at Alabama, 17.5. Give me Missouri. all day, no doubt. BYU at UCF. Once again, Ken says take BYU, and I might follow him to the bookie. So let's see. You got Texas at Vanderbilt. I mean, they're Vanderbilt. And then you got LSU at Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M. Obviously, I already said that. I just Vanderbilt in the top 25 just kind of breaks my mind. I just can't fathom it. I can't. Anyways, Penn State at Wisconsin. Give me Penn State all day. I'll just take them one money line because Wisconsin, they're starting to play well, and I don't like that. 6.5, nah. You got the allegations. You got the quarterback playing well though, and I think Penn State, they could take the Big Ten. I think they could win this. I think they could win it all. Right now, you can't get value for them, but I jumped on that early. Florida State is going to get destroyed. 21, nah. I'm not falling for that. Miami, you're not going to fool me. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami loses this game in typical Miami fashion. Then you got SMU at Duke. Now that's interesting because after Duke lost Riley Leonard, I kind of just took my eye off them because that was my guy right there. So I'm going to stay away from this game, but I would love to watch this game. Minus 11.5. Screw you, and I'll take Duke even though I haven't seen them. I just I like this. Duke sitting at 6-1. I'm probably gonna pass it. In reality, I'm not gonna play it, but I'm gonna watch it. Kansas at Kansas State. I don't know if Kansas State is legit, and Kansas could play a good game, stay away. And then you got your Pittsburgh-Syracuse game. So, yeah, that's my take on this next college week 9. Let me know what you guys think. Hit us up in the comments. Give us your likes. Let us know what you love about week 9. Let us know if there's anything that jumps out at you. But other than that, yeah, we got a great week of college football coming up. We got UFC 308 sitting at 11 o'clock in the morning in Abu Dhabi. So we got a good sports weekend, and then NFL, we'll check it out. Let us know if you got any NFL games that you like. Put it in the comments. Let us know if there's any spreads that we need to hit up real quick. But other than that, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.